this better be a top 5 defense for the full year. You better win us a game in the play. Like, I want this defense to be disgusting.
You want Philly food?
Yeah, let's do it.
We're going to start with the low-hanging fruit because I see people already talking about it in the chat. The Eagles got themselves another dog. We got Robert Quinn. Eagles were able to acquire Robert Quinn from the Bears for a 4th-round pick. I'll start here, and I'll let Phil, you take it from there, and then Dylan, you go from there. I'll start here. I was a little bit worried because I was being told that we were going to probably get Quinn. Like, once it was getting kind of heated up, I even tweeted yesterday that it was heating up. It was getting serious. I was told that it was going to be multiple mid-round picks, which I would have hated. But the 4th-round pick, I love it. Maybe it took a little bit of Howie's haggling. I love Robert Quinn for what we got him for. We need to see him produce, right? That's what we're waiting for. Well, this year has been a little bit rough. Only, I think, 3 QB hurries, 1 sack on the year so far. So you want to see that improve, but I like what we got. And I think at the what we're going to use him for, right? A rotational guy. I think that's a high-end piece. But Phil, we'll start with you. How are you feeling about the Eagles' new acquisition?
For a 4th-round pick, just think about it this way. For a 4th-round pick and a 5th-round pick, we got Robert Quinn and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Howie Roseman's out there playing chess with checkers. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's got 1 sack. He's got only a couple quarterback hurries. But he has been double-teamed on that Bears. I'm sure you guys have seen the stat. 58 times. Bosa and Micah Parsons are in the low 40s on the amount of times they've gotten double-teamed. So it's like Robert Quinn has been – that's it. That's all they have on the Bears defense. So he's getting all those double and triple teams. Dude, in that Chris Long role, which when we brought Chris Long here in 2017, you think about that rotational role that he played here. Robert Quinn's he's gonna feast. It's basically you're taking Derek Barnett or the Vinny Curry, that 3rd down blitzing guy that we've had the last couple of years, and you've just upgraded him with a guy that had 18.5 sacks last year. 18.5 sacks. We're not talking 8 sacks or something like that. We're talking 18.5 sacks, and you're putting him on an elite front 7. He's going to feast on this front 7.
Yeah, just to pivot off of what Phil said, having a guy with that motor, not only on 3rd downs, but later on in the game, just to plug and play within this rotation. Now, obviously, we have to see how the rotation works out and how he fits into the scheme and all, but he's probably a guy you want in the game a little bit more than the Chris Long role itself back in 2017, 2018, because he's probably got a little more left in the tank. He's under contract for 3 more years, I believe. But teams just need to stop picking up the phone when Howard Roseman calls, man. Like, I don't know how many times we have to see this movie before people pick up on the ending and the plot twist. Like, he's going to walk away. He gets him for a 4th rounder. And they retain almost all of his salary this year for the remainder of the season. The Birds are on the hook for almost none of it for the rest of this year. So Howie stole him from Chicago. I know people are harping on the one sack this year. I see the comments. There's a reason we let him go. All right, that's fair. The Bears are buns, so that's probably why you let him go. But I love it.
I will say on the contract that the Bears taking most of his contract from this year. It will concern me that we will be paying a 33-year-old guy $14 million next year, $13 million the year after that. He's under contract for 2 more years.
But do you guys trust Howie?
Howie Roseman, have faith in Howie Roseman. Anybody that wants to look at the negative there's little doubt that he'll be able to renegotiate that or figure it out. I got Spot Track up here, and I don't know if you trust him 110%, but there's no dead cap hit the next 2 years if you cut Robert Quinn listed on their site as of this moment. Now, I'm not 100% sure. I trust what they put up there, but there's 0 dead cap hit listed right now under that.
Yeah, look, I'm a pessimist. I'm gonna be very honest. I'm gonna be 100% honest. My audience, they love to call me a Hurts hater because I was critical of his maturation, and I know Phil, you were right there with me. So you know what I'm saying? We'll throw our hat in together. No.
I was a Hurts lover, man. I've been on the Hurts bandwagon since the day.
You were a little critical. Yeah, I'm trying to bring somebody down with me.
I love
you can bring me down with you, man.
I'm a Jalen Hurts fan, man.
So at the end of the day, people like to call me a Hurts hater because I'm critical and stuff. I was critical of this as well. Even when I first heard that we were interested, the numbers did kind of worry me. The lack of production this year did kind of worry me. But like you guys said, not only do you have to have trust in Howie, you have to look at the good that this creates, right? We look at that defensive line and we look at we look at that interior defensive line. I was one to continuously say we need probably another dog there. I don't know what Fletcher Cox is going to give me game in and game out. This, while it's not a, on the paper defensive tackle, this gives you a little bit of versatility. This gives you a little bit of wiggle room to do a little bit more with that defensive line. I know we want to see a little bit more of a Jordan Davis. Maybe this gives them the opportunity to do that in more four-man fronts at the very least. So this might open up doors for some people. And on that note, I want to ask you guys, is there anyone in particular, player, coach, whatever it may be, that you think benefits the most from Robert Quinn coming on over here?
Dylan, I'll let you take this one. I'd say everybody, because look, I'm a big fan of snap counts. I love studying snap counts. Jordan, you just mentioned Jordan Davis and his snap, and how many times he's on the field and all. Jordan Davis or Robert Quinn, I mean, he's got 72% of the snaps, 62, 63, 70. It's not like he's struggling to put up numbers on a defensive line that he's not part of a rotation. Yeah. So he is going to be part of a rotation here. He's going to take some pressure off of Brandon Graham. And Josh Sweat, since Dark Barnett went down, Josh Sweat and Brandon Graham's numbers and the amount of snaps they've gone on have gone up. So those guys are going to benefit because, especially Dark Barnett, what is he, 34, 35? He can't be playing 70% of the snaps at this point in his career, coming off that injury. It's going to benefit them that they're going to be fresh. You're going to be able to have that 2017 rotation where come playoff time, because let's be honest, we are making the playoffs. There's zero doubt in my mind. The Eagles will be in the playoffs come January. You're going to have a fresh front seven because you are deeper than anybody else right now.
Yeah, if I had to give a player, a specific guy, it would be the first guy I filled in, and that's Brandon Graham. You give, the veteran coming off that major injury last year. We know he had the full offseason, but to give him less reps and less work on that body and save him for later on in the year, that's big. You talk versatility. BG is a guy that can play on the inside of the defensive line as well. But it makes life easier for Gannon, right? Less overthinking, less Marlon Tuipulotu having to play, less stuff like that where, let these guys eat and let them in the rotation. Robert Quinn, Phil, you said, what was the number? 72% of the snaps or 60-something?
I went through his whole entire game log. He's played between 62 and 72% of the snaps.
Yeah, that's a lot, man. So to have that guy with that motor come, he'll probably be what? Like 40 to 50 probably here?
If that.
So,
yeah. Chris Long in 2017 was playing like 32% of the snaps.
Right. Now, like I said,
hold on. Here's another name, Joe, and I'll bring this up. Fletcher Cox's best year was 16 and 17. And he was playing like 58, 60% of the snaps. Last 2 years, he's been struggling because he was up in that 70+%. I'm a big guy, man. I wouldn't be able to be on the field that many times a game. I can't imagine being Fletcher Cox's size and being needing to be out there that many times. He's going to alleviate so much pressure on the older guys.
Listen, I love the Chris Long example, right? But if Robert Quinn, he's not 18 and a half sack Robert Quinn, but he's got to be somewhere in the middle, if not closer to the 18 and a half than he is the one here, right? I'm chalking it up as double teams, the Bears stink, blah, blah, blah. I need him to be on the field more than that Chris Long role in 2017 if he's that guy still. Not a lot more, but definitely more than 30% of the snaps.
Yeah, like I said, there's ways to look at this and be like, it's a little bit of a risk, but I really don't see much of a risk. I feel like this is the rich. Yeah, this is the rich getting richer, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I feel like as long as I will say Gannon probably does benefit in a sort of way, but I would even go as far as saying this puts even more pressure on him. We're getting you even more dogs. I need to see you. This better be a top 5 defense for the full year. You better win us a game in the play. Like I want this defense to be disgusting because I think it can be. Now,
Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you.
Fly was flying on the team. Touchdown. Time to get Jalen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a Bird Gang Nation, baby. It's a Philly thing. Hater, and you looking like you type trash. I'm just here calling with Philly the podcast. And we can call a man dog or watch Miles score off the handoff. Rest of the division, your man saw Jackson like Sean, Hunting like Randolph. Season here, really time to do them in. Your boy Philly Fresco. Thanks for tuning in.
Because I think it can be.